wait is over. Fight night is now. We're at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena.
And these doors opened in 1968, but this is the first time these doors open to 2 women headline.
Yeah, all changes tonight, and the Dazn Boxing Show is live right here to set the scene.
This is for the moments when you were given nothing, but fought for everything. Taking the hard knocks and proving yourself again and again. Because when the sport didn't change for you, you went and changed the sport.
Amanda Serrano's the GOAT.
Katie Taylor is an absolute legend of the sport of boxing.
This is for one of the biggest fights of all time. For the first women to headline Madison Square Garden. For greatness. For undisputed. For history.
As you can see, the vibe's been building all week. We're almost there. You see what happened at the Hulu Theater. I can't even imagine what's going to go down at the Garden today. We're hours away. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Listen, just like yesterday, we got into it. We're going to jump right into it right now.
First of all, I'm upset. I'm upset why the New York fans are not as rowdy as the Irish fans.
I don't know. We'll see, man. We're here live at the Chase
Seems
Square
disappointed.
at Madison Square Garden. And I can't say it enough, the Mecca of boxing, MSG, the biggest female boxing fight in history is going down tonight in this building a few hours away. How jittery are you at it?
Very, very. Look, I think the fans are in for something special because we genuinely have, and look, let's be honest, there's some great matchups you can make in boxing. Great matchups, but not many are 50-50. Not many are like, okay, you know, you wake up and you change your mind, you go to bed, you change your mind again. I'll say Errol Spence, Terence Crawford is probably one that springs to mind.
If we get it.
This is the other, if we get it. This is the one where everyone's changing their mind. And that's what you want. We're talking about the winner of this being, pound for pound, the best female fighter on the planet. I know Clarissa Shields ain't going to be happy, but that's true.
Thing. Yeah. That's the thing.
That's the truth. You're talking about the greatest female fighter who walk away at the end of the night. And that's
are we crowning the winner of this fight that? Pound for pound #1.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, 100%. Listen, even if it was, in people's eyes, #2 fighting #3, it's still the best opponent that you could find. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you can get a 50-50 fight. You can get a 50-50 fight at a low level. But how often do you get 50-50 fight and the best fighters in the world are fighting each other?
Look, I think we just saw a clip of what happened at the weigh-in, and it's a little preview of what we're going to see tonight. I'm talking about the Irish fans, and not only coming from Ireland or England, in New York City, there are Irish fans that are here for Katie. I'm scared as to what I'm going to see, because listen, obviously I'm a prideful Puerto Rican. I've been here, Tito Trinidad, selling out the arena. I've been here for Miguel Cotto, selling out this arena. But tonight, I feel like we're going to have a real split crowd and maybe even more Irish.
It will be more Irish. It will be. I mean, look, let's be honest. Amanda's got some big fans, and they will come out and support her. They will. But I've been lucky enough to go to a few Katie fights, whether it's been England or over here. When she fought on the undercard of AJ Ruiz, they love her. The Irish love Katie Taylor. It is Katie Taylor, it's Conor McGregor, it's Carl Frampton. Katie Taylor's above those two. That's how big she is. She's humble. She gets in there. There's no playing. She doesn't do the trash talk. She just goes in there and fights. And let's not forget the amateur background as well. 2012 Olympic gold medalist. She's won everything you can win as an amateur, everything you can win as a pro. Right now, she's ready to go. She's ready to go.
It's funny
that was a Katie Taylor commercial, right?
No, that was great. But listen,
we obviously know who you're pulling for.
Amanda has won everything that could be won as a professional. 7 divisions. So when you
except undisputed, and that's why she's here.
I got it. But you can stack Katie's amateur resume. You know, there's nothing like a gold medal. we've talked to Oscar, we've talked to guys that won medals, and there's nothing like that. So credit to that. But first, before that main event, we got some heat, some animosity. Jessie Vargas versus Liam Smith. Liam Smith coming off a big win.
Yeah.
Jessie coming off a politician run.
A political campaign.
Yeah, we're not sure where he is mentally, but after the weigh-in, he looks like vintage Jessie Vargas.
There you go. Now, at the weigh-in, you see his intensity. Yeah. You've seen how upset he was, you know? So it's like, it's about how a fighter is mentally. That's what it boils down to, you know what I mean?
It does look, and these two, you know, they should have fought 3 years ago. Yeah. They should have fought a couple of months ago. Liam's
I say if it wasn't for the political campaign, I think he would still be in his prime, Jessie Vargas.
Look, Jessie's only lost to Bradley, Pacquiao, and Mikey.
But he got comfortable.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah. He got comfortable broadcasting fights and being in the suit and being out of the gym. Come on, let's be honest, man.
How do we know he wasn't in the gym?
Well, because his suit's fit him a little extra fitted. That's why.
As long as he's making weight right now, we never seen a fat Jessie. We never seen a fat Jessie, but we have seen a fat Liam. Outside of camp and stuff like that.
That's why they call him beefy.
Exactly.
Listen, no disrespect to that co-main event, but
look at him now.
You know the theme, right? This is women empowering type of weekend, type of event. Another undisputed fight is happening. Franchón Cruz against Serrano.
And that's so funny that we're talking about Katie Taylor and Amanda, but we should also be talking about there's 2 undisputed fights on the same card. When is that going to ever happen again?
And you know, it's quite similar. It's quite similar to Amanda and Katie, where everyone wanted this fight a couple of years ago. Yeah. This fight has been on and off, on and off, on and off. And when I spoke to Serrano, she was like, you know what? We got it. Yeah. We got it now. Both of us have got 2 titles. The Ring Magazine belt is going to be on the line as well. So someone's walking away with a lot of gold. Right. A lot of gold. And potentially, they're looking at Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields and seeing what's going on with that. They want their own super fight as well. So that's the carrot being dangled in front of their faces. Nice. You win this one, you never know. Down the line, it could be a Savannah Marshall, could be a Clarissa Shields. So it's more than just the titles on the line for both ladies.
I mean, you think she wants that get back for Clarissa?
100%. And you judge. Sometimes we judge by the weigh-in about how they look or how they the stare down went. She kind of lost. Serrano's kind of lost that stare down.
She would. She took the wig off. That kind of threw her away. You know what I mean?
Think so? Maybe that's why Serrano was already smiling.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's the time you should be smiling unless you're Manny Pacquiao. And that's about it.
All right. Before that, a fat Jack Cartagena. I mean, look, are you excited about that fight? I like it. Male,
what
female.
The heck? What accent was that right there?
What accent did you try?
What was that right there?
I was trying to give it a little out of, you know what I mean?
Was that an English accent?
Oh, that was horrible. That was horrible.
All right, but how do you feel about the fight?
Oh, man. You go first.
Tough fight. They're good fights. Look, one thing we'll say about the whole card. All right. Good fights on the whole card. Let's not sleep on any of the matchups. I mean, there's no one where someone's just been chucked in and it's gonna, someone's gonna embarrass someone. These are good competitive fights on the whole card, and that's what it's about, right? Look, we got a great main event, but we want the people to turn up early because from the time the gate opens, we're gonna have great 50-50 fights.
How many knockouts are we gonna have in those last 4 fights?
I tell you, Ammo Williams versus Booker is an incredible
the last
fight.
4 fights.
Yeah.
The big fights. Yeah. Anybody is losing, via the way of knockout.
I think Liam Smith could potentially. See, I started.
No way is Liam Smith knocking Jessie Vargas.
Jessie Vargas.
What?
I think he could.
Did Manny Pacquiao sleep Jessie Vargas?
Talking many years ago. He's got 1 foot out of the game. We know Jessie Vargas has 1 foot out of the game. Manny Pacquiao versus Jessie was at 147. He's coming up and fighting a big 100.
Manny Pacquiao stopped
160.
Manny Pacquiao stopped 154 pounders. He stopped Oscar. Come on. He has unbelievable power.
Is this my British bias right now?
You've never seen Jessie Vargas get slept.
It may be. I can't understand. Maybe you lose a little punch resistance, but this early in the game?
Maybe. Might not like it to the body. Who knows? Might not like it to the body.
All right, here's some other fights that are going down tonight.
This is a champion in his prime. His power carried up, the uppercuts, the body shots.
Beautifully timed right uppercut from Craig Richards.
First blood to Joshua Buatsi.
Dick nicely to the body. Buatsi has excellent technique.
Look, when we said that we were going to have the biggest name in female boxing, we weren't lying. Right now, this woman is hot. She's sizzling right now. Alycia Baumgardner, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Listen, after your knockout, I've heard your name so much all over the internet, all over females boxing. So I don't want to say it happened overnight because I saw your work. I saw the journey. But the notoriety happened quick. How were you able to handle that and stay grounded, stay in the gym?
Right. You know, I understood the assignment. I understood my position, who I was as an athlete, and what I did, you know, in a one-night setting. And so I knew that just staying humble and staying true to myself, you know, we were made for this stage. So, again, just going through the steps and staying on top.
How many calls did you get from people that you never heard of, though, afterwards? Like, yo, I'm your cousin, I'm your homegirl, and, like, did you have to change your number?
Listen,
no?
So many people hit me up. They showed me so much love, and I literally responded to everybody, just saying thank you.
Serious?
Yeah, I did.
Not me, because I asked for a couple hours, and you ain't respond. I was like, let me get $5. Listen, okay, he's right. Everybody's mentioning your name now, but at one time they wasn't. So tell me what it's like being that B-side person, that you know your abilities, you know what you could do, and in your mind, you know what you're going to do, but nobody else knows, not the promoter, not anybody that's even putting you there that's supposed to be backing you. How does that feel coming from there?
It feels good because I knew it was going to happen. So it just took the right fight. It took the right time to have patience and to continue to build. And so when I came here, it was just like, yeah. Like,
do you feel disrespected during the B-side time? Period?
No, not at all.
Or you're like, I'm here.
Yeah, not at all, because I have an underdog mentality. I'm a hustler. I grind. I get to the top. I'm still hungry. Even as a world champion, I'm saying you're going to get this belt, and you still have to continue to work hard and continue to grind. So the B side, I don't care.
You know, I like what you said about the opportunity, because watching you, I would say to myself, and I mentioned it to Brock one time, yo, this girl is really talented. She can fight. Like, where's the disconnect? Why isn't she getting that big fight or that big opportunity? Right. Obviously, that came, and you've proved that you belong. Now, as far as staying there, I like the fact that you're trash talking. You know, we know, the back and forth with Mikaela Mayer. And is that always been your personality, or feel like, listen, this is the way I'm going to stay afloat? I got to let my voice be heard.
I always got to let your voice be heard. You know, this is the entertainment business, for one. And two, you know, when you're in the ring, like, it's dog eat dog. You trying to beat me, I'm trying to beat you. And you really just got to stay solid in who you are and know what you about. And I'm about that life.
So do you think that may be your next fight with Mayer? And how do you think she even looked recently in her fight?
You know, she looked okay. You know, Mikaela, you know, she has more of an amateur style. You know, it went the distance, and just nothing really impressive to me. You know, I'm coming with something more than what a lot of women are offering in the sport of boxing right now, and that's knockouts.
Power.
And power, yes, sir. And so, you know, just having it all. But, you know, she's cool. But, again, that fight with Mayer is a big fight. It needs to be built. It needs to have the right promotion. And I think that would be one of the next biggest women's fights.
Yeah. I mean, can it happen, though, considering, you know, the networks and so on?
It can definitely happen. It can definitely happen. I think, you know, we seen with Katie and Amanda that was able to happen, and, you know, a few of the men fights. But it can happen.
Let's talk about that fight. You mentioned Katie, Amanda. I can't get a straight prediction out of no woman.
Man, listen.
Out of nobody.
This is one of those fights, right?
This is one of those fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't even decide either. I've been, like, going back and forth with myself. And I can only say, like, a little inch more towards Katie because the weigh-in kind of showed me a little
because she turned her face first.
Not even that. It's just how her energy was possessed on stage, and she just looked
She's
filled out.
She's always the same way.
Always the same way. But this time, like, you know, when you just staring somebody in their face, the face-off is everything. I could feel that intense.
So if that's the case, what about Cruz Dazn and Setterus?
Oh, she ready to go. She's just ready to go. She's like, she took a step up. Like,
yeah.
So you can predict the winner for that one.
For sure, Cruz.
All right, so what about Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields? You know, you've seen that back and forth that's going on.
Great fight for women's boxing. We know how big this fight is only because we know who Clarissa is, right? We also know Savannah, but Clarissa is who she is as a woman. She's accomplished so much in the sport and has been able to really prove herself. But again, she's still proving herself. Yeah. And again, like we always are. But this fight will really solidify Clarissa. I think it will shut a lot of people up, and I think this is what she really wants.
And if she called herself the GOAT, would you say, all right, you're the GOAT for now? If she beats Savannah.
For now, I think everybody's the greatest woman of all time. I don't put it on one woman. Everybody is great in their own way.
Got you.
All right, well, listen,
leaving room for yourself, right?
Always.
Absolutely.
We can't wait for you and Mikaela Mayer. And if that doesn't happen, anybody in the ring, exciting fighter, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Enjoy the show tonight.
People call me a phenomenal, but here they call me El Presidente.
They were a relatively ordinary club who suddenly has an absolutely extraordinary president.
Welcome to Ibiza. Están todos ricos.
News breaks that 7 Live players are being investigated for match fixing.
Son más duros el presidente que es el jugador, que es una tontería.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
All right, this man is nervous. I can feel the floor shaking right now, Mr. Matchroom himself.
I don't
Mr.
know.
Eddie Hearn.
Actually, he doesn't look
nervous.
That's the thing.
I mean,
That's
come on.
Well, you look good.
I've
I
seen
like
you
the
nervous at an Anthony Joshua fight.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen you nervous. I know what nervous looks like. He doesn't seem
calm?
like he doesn't seem nervous.
Do you know something we don't know?
I was walking to the venue and this guy came up to me and he went, "Hey, Mr. Hearn, good luck tonight." He said, "I came to your last show at the Garden. Wow, it was unbelievable." And I was like, that was AJ again.
2019.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking,
He might have jinxed
wow,
you.
that was like, people going, that was one of the best nights they've ever had at the Garden. I was thinking, we lost. So, no, I feel good. I'm excited, very proud of the event that we've put on. You know, you guys, Dazn, everybody. It's really like people just stopping me in the street saying, "I can't believe how big this event feels," you know, and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Great card. And I said to myself in a hotel room tonight, enjoy it. Enjoy it tonight, because sometimes you let things pass you by, but this is a night we should all just really embrace.
I think people should embrace tonight, right? You mentioned AJ. We all saw what happened. He was able to go back to Saudi Arabia, win again. So there was a rematch. People are already talking about this fight, a trilogy. I mean, the first fight hasn't happened yet. It has potential. We know the type of pedigree that these women are made of. So I expect an amazing fight. Are you thinking that far ahead since you're a promoter?
I mean, only because it's like these two need each other.
Right.
You know, and after this, after Katie wins, which I believe she will, if it's a great fight, you probably will see number 2. But it will always be a great fight. But then afterwards, it's like, who's next? You know, I mean, Mikaela Mayer could come up. You've got Alycia Baumgardner over there. You know, you've got, I don't know, do you pull someone from the UFC to fight Katie? It's not really a thing, you know. So really what you're secretly hoping for is an epic tonight. So you can do it again as a promoter, but you don't care about that. You just want to win. That's the bottom line.
Well, you know, everybody wants to know about this bet.
Well,
we need this. We need to squash this publicly. Yeah. What's going on with the bet between you and Jake Paul?
Unfortunately, we kind of got our collar felt a little bit in the respect of promoters can't bet on their own fight, and that's not a great look. So myself and Jake have been coming up with an alternative, which is going to make you laugh a lot. I'll give you the details maybe later before the fight.
Okay.
Get a little hint. I mean,
I'm not going to see you later.
It probably involves me getting knocked out. That's the first thing.
That's not bad. I like that.
That's only if Katie loses. If not, it's going to involve Jake Paul getting knocked out. So but it's going to be for charity.
Who's going to knock out Jake Paul? Somebody on your roster.
No, all the details are going to be...
all right.
We kind of like had a conversation after, and we got sort of told, look, you know, like legally you can't really bet on the fight as a promoter. And we were like, okay. But we've got something that's much bigger that we're working.
So we see Eddie partying later, happy, and we can party with him. We know who's getting knocked out. It's not you.
If Katie loses tonight, I'll be in the gym.
You'll be in training camp. Training camp starts tonight.
Yeah. If she wins, I'll be on the phone to several people telling them to go.
Your bodyguard.
All will be revealed. All will be revealed.
All right, well, since you're getting, I mean, you look slim, like you've been in the gym in shape. You know, I know you love the punching machine over there. Ade's been challenging women all week.
That's the only one you can beat are the women.
I would just like to say, I broke my finger. So I'm not hitting the bag, but...
Did you break your finger on beating up on Frank Smith?
Yes.
Because I saw that.
Yeah, look at the state of it. Look,
it's
gone
still like that.
Yeah, but I do hold, I think, second or third. I was 990...
Come over.
Go over. Give him a left hook.
We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We had a little challenge.
I'm tempted, to be honest.
In Leeds.
Not in a bow tie. I don't
left
know.
hook? No?
Left hook, maybe?
Maybe left hook.
I think you could beat Ade with the left hook.
One second.
All right. They're both scared.
I'll keep my record. I'll keep my record.
Come over anyway.
But we'll chat.
Let's talk about the journey that you've been on for this year. It's a fantastic ride. Dazn and Matchroom are on some really great cards. You think of Leewood, Michael Conlon, which was, I think, incredible. Atmosphere-wise, the best we've seen. Then we went Josh Warrington, Kiko Martinez, Conor Ben chucked in there. Talk about this, but next week. next week, the big boy, Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol. Look at the smile.
I mean, yeah, because I'm standing here at Madison Square Garden about to make history tonight, and then I'm thinking, blimey, next weekend in Vegas, it's Canelo Alvarez against Dimitri Bivol, which I think could well be the fight of the year. I mean, Dimitri Bivol, I've never seen him prepared like he's been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. You know, he went out, he's defended his world light heavyweight title, he's beaten Joe Smith, the other world champion as well. He wants to prove himself as the best light heavy in the world. Now he fights the pound-for-pound #1. A lot of people in boxing looking at Dimitri Bivol against Canelo Alvarez thinking this could be the banana skin. I know we're all sitting there, Canelo Alvarez in September.
Is this the toughest since Gennady Golovkin won?
I think so.
For Canelo,
I just think like that any time he steps up against a light heavyweight, he's already at a disadvantage. He's a much, much smaller man than Dimitri Bivol. Bivol can punch, he's got great feet. I think Canelo Alvarez can't afford to do what he did against Kovalev, which is take his time. I think he needs to try and get on the inside and hurt him early. Because if Bivol gets his distance, if Bivol gets his rhythm, he's going to really start enjoying himself and fancy the job. But Canelo is like, you know,
he's a machine.
If I said to Canelo Alvarez right now, I'm telling you now, this Dimitri Bivol is a tough fight, he would just go, you know, literally. But the belief that he has in himself is incredible. But I tell you what, we're going to get a fantastic fight, and you're going to get not just a light heavyweight world champion, but you're going to get a light heavyweight world champion in his absolute prime in Dimitri Bivol. No chinks in the armour, no tough fights, 100% fresh. They're going for it. They really believe they can beat Canelo next week.
Indeed, they do. Let's talk about the fight card that we have tonight. Let's talk about the co-main event, which, because obviously the magnitude of this is maybe going under the radar. Jessie Vargas versus Liam Smith, which I believe could have headlined any other card.
Absolutely.
It was a headline event. Jessie Vargas looks fired up. Liam Smith looks ready to go. Is it a case of, I hate using the phrase, but loser leaves town, the winner goes on?
I think loser leaves town in terms of world championship fights. This is a brilliant fight. I mean, we're supposed to headline in Las Vegas February the 5th. But what I'm seeing is, like, Jessie Vargas, I've never seen him so animated. And Liam Smith's really got under his skin. You know, this head-to-head we're seeing here is so un-Jessie Vargas-like. You know, this is a guy who's running to become, you know, politician in Las Vegas. And he just, something lit inside him to say, I'm not going to be disrespected by you. Liam Smith, I feel, is a true world-class light middleweight. I mean, had a good fight with Canelo Alvarez, tough as you like, had a great fight with Munguia. He's a former world champion. He's very, very good. He's got a great engine. You may not always watch him and think that, you know, he's a Canelo Alvarez, but what he does is he's got a great engine, can box on the inside. He'll just keep chipping away. He'll make you work, and he's very tough. I think it's going to be a very explosive fight. And also, keep your eyes on Cruz Dazn against Cederos for the undisputed super middleweight world championship. That is a brilliant fight.
Two undisputed fights on the same
Two
card.
undisputed fights. A fight that could headline any card. Galauya fight, Olympic world champion. And before the bell, you know, people watching this fight right now must tune in to Before the Bell. Even the first fight, Khalil Coe is in a great fight. Australia's Sky Nicholson. Ammo Williams is in a brilliant fight. 11-0 against 17.
Well,
yeah, but it's a massive step up for him. Reshat Mati's got a tough fight. Honestly, top to bottom, I think this is the best fight card we've ever put together.
Talk about the growth of female boxing. You've kind of spearheaded it, right? Other promoters maybe don't want to look at female boxing. We know this. We're not going to get into that.
They probably will now.
They probably will now, but so many, seeing all the girls here as well, this is it, isn't it? This is female empowerment at its best.
Yeah, but it's also about, you know, for me, it's about the commercial potential of a fighter. And we're seeing, you know, female fighters, there is a fascination about them. You know, about the way they dress, about the way they talk, about the way they fight, more importantly. And it's like, you know, that you can bring so many different elements into it, whether it's entertainment, whether it's empowerment, whether it's fashion, whether it's music. And we've seen that this week with all the different genres of media getting together to embrace this moment. But I see differently. You know, I see that a lot of female fighters' profiles already are so much bigger than their counterparts on the male side of boxing. And for me as a promoter, that's what counts. I love to do things to, you know, to help women's sport, and more importantly, to help Katie Taylor. But it's got to have a sustainable future. And the only way to do that is to grow the profile and create interest in athletes. You know, Alycia Baumgardner, you just had on here, her profile's going through the roof.
It's gone crazy.
So, and the same, you know, Mikaela, Clarissa Shields. These are stars. And if you can create stars, you can create big nights. And honestly, this is just the beginning.
Talk to me just before we go, before I let you go. Everyone wants a piece of Eddie Hearn, by the way. The magnitude of the event. I mean, this is crazy.
Just walking
Madison
down
Square
the street.
Garden.
Yeah, walking down the street. You know, Penn Station lit up with Taylor Serrano. You know, the Empire State Building lit up tonight with the Irish and Puerto Rican colours. You know, the girls on the Today Show, you know, Bloomberg, CNN, all these different media genres. A real feeling of togetherness about the fight tonight. But you know, I'm so relaxed because I know you're going to get a great fight, and I know you're going to get a great fight card. And as I said, the last time we came to MSG was one of the best nights they've seen, the most dramatic night they've seen in this building. And tonight, I think you're going to get another one.
Can you please tell Ak, because Ak thinks there's going to be more Puerto Ricans in here than Irish.
Ak,
he doesn't quite understand, does he?
I don't know. I mean, look, there was more Irish at the weigh-in, but the weigh-in. I mean, they've flown in, so they're all going.
The other, Puerto Ricans were working on Friday. They'll be free today.
But there's also a lot of Irish that flew in last night and today, so we'll see. We'll see.
Well, listen, if we
know you're supporting anyway.
We know already.
You're talking about the last night.
If you're sticking to your own, we need you in the Irish colours.
Oh, my God.
Eddie, thank you very much. I know you got a lot to do, Eddie. Cheers.
All right, listen, man. I can't get over the fact that there are 2 undisputed showdowns going down. And, Ade, he's been chopping up with all the women this week. He caught up with Franchón Cruz, who's also fighting for that undisputed crown. Check it out.
The champ is here. Obviously not me, but look at this. Look at this wonderful piece of gold. And it's heavy, by the way, as well. And they belong to this wonderful woman here, by my left, Franchón Cruz, Dazn, who defends these this Saturday. Big room, Madison Square Garden. I feel like I've got to keep saying big room because there's a difference. There's a big difference. If you go to the big room, well, you kind of made it.
Yeah,
you kind of made it. You made it. I feel like people don't know about your journey to get to the stage. Like, this is all nice, right? This is good, and we're here, and there's all the cameras, and everyone's taking photos, but you've been doing this 20 years.
We almost there, but it feels like it.
Yeah?
It feels like it. I think a lot of people get it misconstrued because I make it look easy.
Yeah.
They don't know the sleepless nights. They don't know when I had to sleep in my mother's hallway. They don't know when I had to get one-way ticket to fights because if I didn't win, then I didn't have a future. So I had to bet on myself, literally. But, I mean, everything that happened to get me to this point was worth it for this opportunity, for this moment. So if I had to trade it, nah, I just keep the same journey.
You seem built for this moment. And I've interviewed so many world champions. In some case, look, we got there. That was the box ticked, becoming a world champion. You're like, no, so you can shake your head. You're like, no, this is just the start. Like, we're at the start of this new journey, new chapter.
Yeah, I put my heart and soul into this, and everything I do, everything I've sacrificed just to get here. And I could breathe, but it's not a sigh of relief. It's a sigh of catching my second wind because I know it's going to get more difficult. It's going to require a different me. So I'm just trying to keep evolving and keep investing and keep believing in myself that I'm capable of this. Because, like you said, I look built for it. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm built for it, but I know I'm connected to the source. Yeah. So anything can happen. I could create the future that I desire, and that's what I'm doing. Talk
to me about fighting on this card. This is a big card.
Yeah, so...
You've had these fights. What's the phone call like when you get that phone call and they say, you're on the undercard of the biggest female fight of all time?
Yeah, well, I had a couple transitions. This fight was supposed to take place last year in June, which it didn't. And then I had a couple transitions, switching promoters and trying to find a great platform to have this fight. So I would have been happy just on a regular Dazn Matchroom card. But when I got the call from my manager, Peter Kahn, and he said, you're fighting on the undercard of Amanda and Katie. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, no, you're going to be like co-main event. Like he said, I'm co-main event, but just the fact but I'm the show opener.
Yes.
So.
Does that excite you?
Yeah.
People are going to tune in, and it's going to be packed. When you're fighting, there will be like 15,000 in there.
Yeah.
You're going to walk out in front of 15,000. Have you seen what the Irish are like as well, by the way?
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, mind you, I've fought on world stages as amateur, and I've been in places where they didn't give a F about me and threw things at me. So I'm good. The crowd gonna love me. They're gonna love me for my ambition, and I just know my purpose is to become undisputed and to get the show started. And I'm going to set the bar high to make it a hard act to follow. So I know they're going to see me and they're like, oh, okay, we got one up her.
You seem to, everywhere you go, you seem to honor sort of a great in that area. We're in New York. You fought in Texas, and I think you honored Beyonce out there. New York. Is it Mary J? Who you honor? Mary J? It has to be Mary J.
No. But
Mary J?
Listen, it's definitely somebody very close to her.
Okay.
I think I honor Mary J when I step out. I don't mean to, but they call me Franny J. Blige sometimes. If you know her story, you know how much she had to overcome, so I can definitely relate to her in that. But it's someone very close to her. It's someone that I admire, their tenacity, their relentlessness, and just everything they bring to the table. People didn't get it. They didn't get it back then, but they got it now.
They kind of understand
and they see the influence for multiple generations, and that's how I feel like I want to leave my mark on boxing.
Let's talk about your opponent. It'll be Rude Notsu, Ellen Cedros, obviously.
Yes.
World champion in her own right, unified champion. So this is for, have you heard the phrase, all the marbles?
Yeah.
This is for all the marbles.
I'm short a couple, so I could use a couple extra marbles.
This is for all the marbles and the Ring Magazine belt
yes.
as well. See, one of you is walking away with everything.
Yes.
And then, look, this is a super fight, but then, you know, there is a talk of super fights now. There are big super fights out there for you if you win this one. Let's not look past her, but she's a good opponent.
Yeah. I mean, every interview I've given her her respect as a champion. Like, everyone's journey is different, but once we get past that, we have to look at the facts and we have to look at the caliber. And when you put us next to each other, it don't add up. She's a soccer player turned boxer. I've been boxing over half of my life, you know, so it's different. That's like you trying to take a high school basketball player, put him with LeBron. Yeah, you won titles, you won championships, but you ain't with LeBron. It's levels. That's like you trying to put one of these new girls that play tennis against Serena, even in her old age, in Venus. It's levels. So that's how I feel in my predicament. It's still going to be levels. Whether it's ugly or pretty, I'm going to find a way to get it done. I got 10 rounds to figure it out, and it's going to be done.
Final question. You mentioned 10 rounds. Are you one of those that are wanting the 12 3-minute rounds as opposed to the 10 2 minutes?
So, of course, I love equality for women and men, but I'm not going to fight 3 12-minute rounds and still get paid what I get paid for 10 $2. Look, I said $2 ring. I mean, if we're going to do equality, let's do equality all the way around the board. And I understand it's a process. It takes time. It's a lot of logistics that go into it. When the opportunity presents itself and it makes sense, sure. But I know women can do it. There have been a few women who fought 10 3-minute rounds, or, you know, so it's coming along the way. We have to take it one step at a time.
For sure. How many glasses?
Huh?
How many glasses do you have?
I have a lot.
Hundreds.
I have a lot.
Every interview is a new pair of glasses.
And you know, I was looking at some very, you know, older pictures of me, and it's my aesthetic. It's not a gimmick. This is just how I am. Like, they say the eyes are a window to the soul, and this world is very soulless at times, so I have to protect myself.
Protect yourself, indeed. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Champ is here.
Look, as Ade mentioned to Eddie earlier, this fight, Liam Smith versus Vargas, can stand alone.
Yeah.
And let's give it the time it deserves. I mean, these two gentlemen have shared the ring with the greats. You're talking about Timothy Bradley, Canelo Alvarez. Both guys have been in with big names. Who would you say has the more experience, Barack?
Oh, well, obviously Jesse Vargas, because he's fought guys like Pacquiao and Bradley. And then you see what happened the last round with Bradley. If the referee didn't stop it, maybe he would have beaten Bradley, you know? So that also says that he has a punch. Now, I know that's kind of crazy that he's saying, I'm going to knock you out. His punch ratio is very low, you know, but maybe he feels more confident at 154 pounds. I think that's what it is. He's probably knocking guys out in the gym, and he's like, you know what? I got this newfound strength. I'm feeling healthy. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to knock this guy out.
But Eddie, he talks about experience. What about Miles? Like, who has been in more wars between both guys?
Probably Jesse.
Yeah.
Probably Jesse. You think of the defeats that Liam Smith has had. Obviously, Canelo. It wasn't a sustained beating. You know, he got hit to the
vicious body shot.
Vicious body
just
shot.
maybe 2 shots from Canelo is like 15 shots from Timothy Bradley.
Yeah. But the thing is, we mentioned the names that they've been in with. They've lost to all those names as well. So both of them are looking for that big win, and the big win's going to come against each other.
Yeah.
You know, you look at the names that Jesse's lost to, you look at the names that Liam's. So they're both looking for that marquee win that can then propel them. Whether it's the world title shots, we don't know, because the 154 division is really, really deep and good. But it is a case of you can continue.
Right.
You know, if Jesse loses, will Jesse get up for it again? Will he get the big fights at 154? If Liam loses, same thing for him. These guys are in their 30s now. So I think it's a big, big fight. And look, I said to Eddie, and maybe it's a wrong term to use loser leaves town, but it could be a case of loser leaves town.
I like that. Loser goes home.
If town means boxing, that's for sure, because I think he has.
These dudes don't like each other, no question about it, which is usually a recipe for a good fight. Check out the presser a couple days ago.
Liam, if he tries to knock you out, will lend itself to being you will knock him out.
Jesse, you've never fought at 154. You've moved to 154 and done a bag weight and still fought at 152, and you fought Humberto Soto. If you're going to 154, go to 154. Don't say you're going to 154 and then fight at 152. That's a coward way. You haven't fought at 154 and you come to knock me out, you're in a world of trouble. Listen, who's the last person you destroyed? You said you're going to destroy me. You've won 3 fights at your last 8 or 4.
You're going to feel the punch of Saturday night.
I hope so.
Well, your wish will come true.
No, Addy, I mean, Liam has a point there. I mean, if you're going to move up a weight class or division, right? I mean, look, I get it, Barack. I understand he used to fight at 140, 147, but it's not 154.
Yeah, so, I can't stand boxers making weight classes. There's so many weight classes in boxing already, and we have these catchweight fights. Liam is correct. If you're going to go 154, go 154.
Barack, why don't
ask a light middle to kind of drain himself a couple of pounds to make a big fight. Go 154.
I mean, with that strategy, though,
listen,
right?
I don't like that neither. But what I'm saying, when I saw that, I said, well, why are you downplaying your opponent? Because now you're not going to get the credit if you win.
Yeah.
Don't tell him that he's a small guy and he can't.
Good point.
I hate when fighters do that. Yeah. Big up the way that
Shakur
Stevenson is doing right now with Valdez now.
Are we only okay with big names doing that? There's been big names at catch weights, but both fighters at that catch weight. Canelo has done it. Floyd has done it.
Yep. We never liked catch weights. I didn't like Canelo's weight 155.
You didn't have a problem with it.
I didn't like Canelo's weight 155. I always spoke about that. I never held my tongue like you.
Don't fight, guys.
I'm not making your weight, all right? I know. Right?
No, but
no catch weights.
I agree. I agree with you about the catch weights. Understandable. But listen, did you see Jessie Vargas when he was doing the face-to-face, and he kind of lost that politician in him? I think he said, I'm going to F you up.
He did say that. And you know, someone's definitely going to play that on his political campaign. You swore.
You were waiting for that.
You're bad. But look, you know, he's got a point as well. I think Liam was saying as well.
Who won that? This face-off.
About the winning of face-off.
No,
you know?
stop it. Who won that?
No, I'm not sure. Even Clarissa said Amanda turned around the other day.
No,
I don't really care.
That one I don't agree with. Yeah. I don't agree with that.
I would say Jessie got the better of Liam in this face-off. I mean, if you're looking at it, if you're a casual fight fan, you tune into this face-off.
Cruz Dazn won her face-off. This right here, maybe Jessie won it because he had to tell him to look at me. When you got to tell somebody, look at me, it's like, why is he looking away?
I'm going to be honest. I know this is a bit cliche, but these face-offs, they do well for the promotion. I like them. Casual fan sees it. They see this. They say, I want to check that fight out.
Indeed, they will. One thing Liam did say in the face-off, and he said it to him as well in the presser, you won 1 fight in your last 6. Obviously, there's been a couple of draws in there, and he's fought some big names in there as well. So I don't know if that's going to be playing on Mikey's head as well. Like, Mikey needs a win. Like, Mikey, he's not fought for 2 years. Right. And you can be training as much. You guys, you know, you hit the bag, you train. You got to fight.
Right.
And he hasn't fought. And Liam has been active. I thought he won the fight in Russia against Kurbanov.
Had 2 fights last year.
Yeah, Anthony Fowler fight, which is a big fight in Liverpool, huge fight in Liverpool. So Liam's coming to this on momentum, whereas Mikey, it's a bit stutter. It's a bit stop, start. So I think the first 4 or 5 rounds are going to be good here. They're going to, and then I expect Mikey to kind of fade because he's just.
Mikey's not fighting. Jesse's going to replace Mikey. We want to make you look bad because we're upset right now.
No, but I think you're right. I think activity is important, and that's why I might have to give Liam the edge on that because of activity. I'm not saying.
I'm not mad. I'm mad, but I'm not mad.
I love Jessie, though. So I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. You caught up with both guys early in the week, man. Great conversations, too. Check it out, fellas.
Co-main event on Saturday is one that we've been waiting for I'd probably say about 3 years. One that should have happened at the start of the year as well is Jessie Vargas versus Liam Smith. The main man, Jessie, is with us. I said this to you earlier as you were walking down. I felt that intensity. You had your gloves on, you had the mask, and I was like, oh, Jessie looks like he's ready to go. You've been waiting, haven't you? A long time for this.
A long time, first of all. Eddie, it's a pleasure to be on. Thank you for having me. Secondly, to respond to your question, I'm ready, man. I'm glad that it's noticeable. You know, I'm ready physically, spiritually, man, and most importantly, emotionally. You know, I just can't wait. I'm ecstatic that the week has finally come. I'm only a couple days away from the fight. And, I mean, there's going to be fireworks. I mean, there's been a lot of trash talk.
Where's that come from? You guys were very like cordial before. They seem to be quite respectful. All of a sudden, is it because we're so close to a fight? Is it because the fight was cancelled a few months back? Where's that come from?
You know something? I think, I don't know, honestly. He came at me with a couple messages through WhatsApp, a couple messages through social media, private messages that threw me off and I felt were very disrespectful. And I told him, point blank, I'm gonna knock you out. I didn't like the way he came at me. You don't do that to me. You don't do that to, from man to man. You don't do that. Face to face, he was being real nice. And then through messages, he just seems like he's a little, they seem absurd. He may be nervous. I don't know what it is. I really don't care where he came from, why he did it. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of thankful because he really lit up that flame inside me where I really want to come back stronger than ever, and I am. I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm in the best shape of my life physically, and I'm just ready mentally, physically, and emotionally. I just can't wait. I'm in the best shape of my life. I've had a great training camp, and a lot of it had to do with the fire that was, inflamed in me once again, right? Just ignited once again. And you're going to see the best Jessie Vargas, April 30th in Madison Square Garden, and it's going to be fantastic. Man, I'm telling you, man, I'm dropping the weight right. I'm in a weight division where I feel really comfortable.
I was going to ask that. Do you prefer that? The last 5 years has been 144, 147, 150. Do you prefer this junior middleweight, 154 pounds?
I should have made this move years ago.
Yeah. A lot of people said that about you, Jess, that you should have, yeah.
I'm a big guy. You're right. I'm bigger than all the guys at welterweight now. And I was saying there, I'm very disciplined. That's the thing with me. If you tell me make 140, I'll make 140. The only thing is that you, as a professional athlete, you want to make it at an optimum level, right? And that's a little bit what held me back. But something, I have a great brother. I have a brother who kind of inform me on how I can drop the weight properly. Okay. And that's no need to donate. Kind of admires me a little bit. And we were in training camp together. That was a huge help, a huge benefit to have him there. And not only was I able to learn from him while we were in training together, but also, just I guess encourage each other to continue to push forward because he also has a big fight, in June, which he's preparing for. So it was really nice to be a part of that. It was different because I was looking forward to training camp every day because it was like training with the boys, but boys would take it serious, and that's where we're at now. And I'm just glad I'm in a weight division. Cause I'm gonna go back to the question. I'm glad I'm in the weight division where I feel strong. I haven't felt this strong in many years. Yeah. I've never finished camp this strong. That I will say. The last training camp, I was smashing, man. I was smashing fools, and I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go and let that bell ring.
What's the last 2 years been like? You've not had fights. We know that you've stepped into that political world, which is almost like a fight in itself, to be fair. So it might prepare you for the big night on Saturday. Some people say, though, with you now switching over to the political world, it's almost like 1 foot out. Is that fair?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, what was I doing the last 2 years? You know what I mean? So, listen, there's 3 things that I love. I love my family, I love my country, I love this sport, amazing sport of boxing, right? So I've always been very invested in that and always been trying to help as much as I can. I've been trying to help my community since I was 21, 20 years old. All right, and I started with the youth programs, trying to support them. It's just about being a good human being. The more good we want to do in our world, the better we will leave it. That's how I see it. I have a platform. This is my platform. This is my stage, right? And people love to tune in, love to watch me. Whether it's I guess fighting, right?
Yeah.
Throwing blows. But
also, being a very good analyst as well.
Thank you. So I get that respect from the people. So if I can inform the community, my country, of what's occurring, then that's doing a little bit better than any other person can do. This is my livelihood. This is what I do. This is what I love here, right behind you. Okay, and I'm fully invested, and I've never stopped training these last 2 years.
But though, do you still want to do this, Jessie, for like the next 2 or 3 years? If you come through Saturday, is it, yes, Jessie, we're going for world titles, 154 pounds, all fun fights. You've been in big fights already. Pacquiao, big fight. Bradley, big fight. Mikey, big fight. Broner was a huge fight. Are you still looking at big fights, world title fights, or is it a case of a couple more left?
I want to become world champion again. I'm very young. Look at me.
You look good. You look good.
Thank you. I'm very young. I feel great. I perform very well. I perform superb. That's the reason why I'm still at the top level, and I will remain at the top level. If I can box for 10 years, I would love to. Now, being realistically, I want to become world champion not once but twice in 2 different divisions. That's my goal. So that tells you all on how long I'm planning to stay in this amazing sport. But then again, training camp for a fight is 2 months, 3 months, right? All right, on my off time, I know that I can, I train year round, but when I'm not training for a fight, I can definitely be invested in where I can be a speaker for the community, right? Be a role model, be a community leader. That's what I want to do. I want to speak for my community. I want to give them the proper information. I want to inform my community of what's occurring, of what politicians we should be supporting, right? What politicians are actually doing things to hurt us. What politicians don't know what they're doing. What I have learned is that in politics, people they're in there for the clout. They just don't use that
Jesse,
word.
you're trying to juggle the both. You're trying to juggle politics and boxing. I mean, boxing's hard enough. Politics is hard enough. You're trying to do this.
Well, Manny Pacquiao did it, you know, and I can
and he
do
did it well.
Yeah, and he did it well, and I think that I can do it better.
Yeah.
But because I'm serious, and I mean, he did a great job.
Of course.
He did it. I'm not taking any
No,
credit.
of course.
I just know that when you represent your country, it's a huge responsibility, and I know that I have gathered a good team as well to where we can, we can make great decisions for the better of our community, for the better of our country. But at the same time, listen, I'm here to talk boxing. You know, I'm ready to fight April 30th. That's all my mind has been on for the past 2 months. I'm gonna knock this guy out. Why? Because I have everything to do it. I have power that you guys haven't seen yet, and you're gonna see it April 30th.
Tell him.
You're gonna see power. I have a great strength and conditioning trainer, you know, in Jessie Donaire. She's been killing it. She's been putting me through a lot, but I loved it. You know, right after the workout made me feel great, and I can't wait. You know.
Jesse, good luck, my brother. Should be a good one on Saturday. Co-main event: Jessie Vargas, Liam Smith. Co-main event fireworks. Saturday's a good one. Liam Smith versus Jessie Vargas. A fight that should have happened, or really about 3 years ago, should have happened a couple of months ago. Happened Saturday at Madison Square Garden. Liam, let's get the most important thing out of the way first. Liverpool won for the quadruple.
They are.
We're on for the quadruple.
Yeah, we're flying, and you know, we're some team at the moment. Yesterday was probably one of the most one-sided European Champions League semi-finals you'll watch. You know what I mean? But we're on for it, we're on.
Best Liverpool team I've ever seen in my life.
It is, yeah.
Obviously, you know when people talk about the 80s, and I get it, the 80s and 70s must have been incredible, but this team, the depth in the squad, ridiculous.
Of course, yeah, and it's only Liverpool have always struggled with the substitutes. Yeah. We've never had a big squad. Now, you know, we're taking Mane.
We're bringing on Jota.
Yeah, we're bringing Jota on. You know, whether it be Diaz, Firmino. We're bringing the subs on now,
Yeah, let's talk about Saturday. Jessie Vargas. You've had a good 18 months. Like, for me, I count the Kurbanov fight as a win. Because I've watched it so many times now and I've scored it. And even when I tried to give Kurbanov a couple of rounds, I can't. Yeah. You won. So you've had the Kurbanov win as far as I'm concerned. The Fowler win, which was a tough one mentally because it's the Liverpool, it's the domestic rival. And now you're moving into this. This is almost a good Indian summer part of your career now, no?
It is, yeah. And you know, if I'd have fought Jessie in February, that would have been a very active 12 months for me. You know, it would have been 3 fights in maybe 9 or 10 months. Squeezing this in on April 30th, I've still had 3 fights in 12 months. So that's active for me, and you know, it's one that I feel I've benefited from. I've always complained since I was, you know, obviously people will say I'm coming to the autumn in my career, but I've always complained all the way throughout my career that I want activity, I want momentum, and I've never really had that, and I seem to be getting it now. And I said, give me momentum, and you'll see the best of me. And I feel I'm getting better and better. I do feel I won in Russia. The Fowler fight was a big fight, pressure-wise for myself, a lot on my shoulders, but you know, it's all come to here now, and I'll prove it with Jessie on Saturday.
Do you prefer this? Do you prefer being co-main in this big one, Madison Square Garden, the biggest female fight of all time, or would you prefer to main your own?
No, I'm fully happy with where we are. I know this show could have main event as anywhere else. But you know, this is going to be a historic night. It's historic for the main event. It's historic for me as a selfish point of view. I'm fighting at Madison Square Garden. And it's going to be a night to remember.
What do you make of Jessie as a fighter? We haven't seen him in the ring for a couple of years, and he lost. That was at 147 against Mikey. You look at his last 4 years, it's a couple of good results in there. Adrian Broner, I thought he won that fight.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
But it has been a bit hit and miss for him. He's now talking about, you know, wanting to do the politics thing as well. So 1 foot maybe outside of boxing. Obviously, you can't take all that for granted, but
no,
what do you make of him?
Of course, and I've trained for the best Jessie. I've watched the photos. I've watched footage of the best Jessie. So I've prepared for the best Jessie, but only he can answer them questions, what he's done for the past 8 weeks. If he has had one eye on politics and one eye out of the game, I'll fully answer their questions for you on Saturday night, because I'll make him fight every minute of every round. But Jessie's here and he's telling everyone he's in great shape, and he's seems to be bang up for this fight now. So I'm excited to see Jessie up for the fight because it just gives me, makes my stomach turn in a good way.
Can I ask about the weight? You look in great condition.
Yeah, no, the weight's
good, yeah?
Yeah, weight's good.
The reason I asked that is because obviously, look, you're building up to a fight early in the year. Yeah. So you would have, tried to make weight for that, and then that got stopped, and then you've got to, like, I guess, rehydrate again and then cut weight again, so it's not easy.
Yeah, that was the only not easy part about it, that was the only bit of the stumbling block with Jessie pulling out in February. I wasn't near enough by the weight. I was 2.5 weeks out from the Arizona fight. But I've just come, I'm professional, and like I say, weight's tough for any fighter, but when you get momentum and you keep hitting the weight, it gets easier, and that's what comes with momentum for me. I've made 11 stone May last year, I made 11 stone October, and I make 11 stone now.
You've been a world champion before. Obviously, look, if there are opportunities to go there again, you'll want those fights. But is it now just a case of having fun fights, big fights? Does it matter if there's a world title on the line?
Yeah, I want to be in fights people are bothered about, people are talking about, and challenges for myself. If they're not challenges and people are not interested, I'll walk away.
I want to see you versus Castano badly.
I think that makes for a great fight, and he's a top lad, Castano, and he's a good fella. He should be champion also. I do feel he beat Charlo last time, so good luck to him in the rematch. I hope he gets a fair crack this time. But that's a fight I'd like. That's a fight I wanted when he was champion and I was number 2 in the rankings. But like I say, I'll beat Jessie, and it puts me knocking on the doors again for a big fight or a challenge for a world title. If I'm not getting any of them, I'll walk away. I'm not carrying on to just be a professional boxer. I've been British champion, I've been world champion, I've been in good fights, I've had a good career, I've been pro 13 years, but while I'm still on these big nights, I'll still continue to crack the whip.
All right, final question. FA Cup and Champions League or Premier League?
Premier League.
Premier League, innit?
Premier League.
Premier League.
Just from coming from coming from behind, no one thinking we had a chance. Premier League.
Premier League. Yeah. Liam, good luck on Saturday, brother.
Top man. Cheers. Thank you.
Liam Smith.
Let's get ready to rumble! Now, entering the arena,
Canelo Alvarez, this is a champion in his prime.
His power carried up, the uppercuts, the body shots.
Beautifully timed right uppercut from Craig Richards.
First blood to Joshua Buatsi. Dick nicely to the body. Buatsi has excellent technique.
People call me a phenomenon. Here, el presidente.
They were a relatively ordinary club who suddenly has an absolutely extraordinary president.
Welcome to Ibiza. Están todos ricos.
News breaks that 7 Guadalupe players are being investigated for match fixing.
Son más duros el presidente que es el jugador, que es una tontería.
Look, we've been telling the biggest names in women's boxing, so we can't get through today without one of the hottest fighters in the sport today, Mikaela Mayer.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for finally having me.
We had Baumgardner on earlier.
Wait, that was a shot. No, that was a shot.
Never sat down with you
finally.
guys.
Well, listen, we had Baumgardner was trying to get you early, but they said you didn't want any smoke, so you didn't want to join early.
Oh, please.
I'm joking.
Dig back at me.
No, listen, I mean, how exciting is it to be a part of this event? I mean, I'm not sure if you were at the weigh-in, but the energy was insane. Are you excited to be a part of that fraternity of women?
Oh, yeah. I bought my ticket when they first went on sale. So I was really excited about it. I wasn't at the weigh-in, but I did see online there was tons of people there. I mean, the Irish and the Puerto Ricans, they all came out. They all go hard for their people. So the energy is going to be really great there.
You know, there's a lot of times that I'm excited about a fight, but the world isn't. You know, did you even think, just because you're excited and you bought your ticket early, did you think it would be this big the way it looks?
Yeah, I did. I did. I always believed that this was possible. You have to. All the women on the forefront right now that are trailblazing and in this era, that's a great era of women's boxing right now, we had to believe that we would be here or we wouldn't be here. And so I'm happy for them. I'm so grateful to be here also and on the forefront of that, and hopefully I can be in the same position soon.
Right. You know, a lot of people are giving credit to Jake Paul for actually giving that little extra push to make this fight happen, because, you know, there were options for it to be made. You know, no disrespect to Eddie. Eddie's a trailblazer when it comes to women's boxing, but what do you feel about Jake Paul actually getting behind Amanda the way he has?
You can have your opinion on Jake Paul and him being an athlete and a fighter, and I've gone back and forth with it as well, but listen, finding a manager and finding a solid team is one of the hardest things in this sport and one of the most important things. Right. And so if Amanda found that in Jake, and Jake is doing everything for her that it's obvious what he's doing for her, great things, and getting her the money that she deserves. And I have nothing bad to say about that. Good for you, because it's not easy to find a good manager and someone to work hard for you in that sense.
Well, speaking of manager and promotion companies and stuff like that, have you heard that possibly Alycia would be your next opponent? We just had her recently.
I hope so. I mean, I've been trying to get her as my next opponent, but that's not the case. I mean, I'm sure she's told you. She wants to go for Choi first, and so...
She actually didn't tell us that.
Oh, no, I mean, go check Twitter. That's what she's been saying. I want Choi first. I want Choi first. She hasn't said my name.
Why do you think she wants Choi first?
You know, she probably wants to go up against me for Undisputed because she knows I'm the one to beat.
I think maybe she's taking, you know, what's been happening lately, like with Spencer and Crawford. I think it makes sense now if they fight as opposed to if they would have fought before.
We don't need 2 years of a build-up. We don't need that. And she keeps saying that, oh, we need to build this fight. There needs to be, you know, a big
why
thing.
Why not, though?
Why?
Think about,
if your payday go up to 1.2, you might say, you know what?
That. If me and Baumgardner go up against each other this year, it already has the potential to be that. Yeah. Because look what's happening right now. Let's ride that wave. We don't need a year build-up. That's what the 3 months, 4 months leading into the fight are for.
But shouldn't the bigger names fight for Undisputed? Don't you think? You guys are the bigger names.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. We can do this. It just needs to happen this year. This is my argument. I don't want to wait. I don't want to do, you know, it took them 2 years to get this done. And I know it's happening at the perfect time now, but this is the time for women's boxing. Let's not make the fans wait, because guess what happened? They tried to do that with Terry Harper. Everyone wanted to see me go against Terry Harper. The fans were excited about it, and then we try and wait, or Eddie and whoever was behind this, trying to want to make for the perfect moment, try to get her the experience, which I'm sure he's trying to do with Alycia too, because she doesn't have a ton of experience. And the fight never happened. The fans never got to see what they wanted to see, and I don't want that to happen. So we can go for Undisputed, but it needs to happen this year.
I mean, where's the bad blood? I mean, she just said, we asked her about your last performance a couple of weeks ago. She said it was okay. I wasn't impressed. Where's the bad blood between you and her?
She does keep saying that she's not impressed with me, but that just makes me laugh, because she obviously doesn't know. Can I cuss on here? No. She doesn't know ish about boxing, if that's what she thinks. And we can talk about her too. I'm this big knockout, big puncher, I'm going to dog walk you. Look at her last fight. She didn't punch, she didn't dog walk. She sits back and she coasts through her fight. And she should have ran through Matisse.
Well, we can definitely say that you're a great fighter. We've seen you, you know, from a younger age, and to where you're at now, you definitely improved. But we want to see some skills right here on the show. That's why we have our guy Ade over there. Are you willing? Are you willing? Because no one else was willing. In heels.
By the way, he lost to Clarissa Shields yesterday on the back.
I've actually always wanted to hit this thing.
Have you really?
Let's go.
Then let's do it.
In heels?
In heels. Well, I guess I don't really have a choice today. I do.
Before we hit it, quick one. Obviously, look, so many good female fighters right now. Give me your top 4. Give me your top 4 right now. In order.
Okay. It's hard right now because I do agree with what Katie said going in. You know, it's Katie and Clarissa right there for number 1. Yep. And I'll give Serrano 2. And I'll give her 3, and I'll give me 4.
Indeed. You ready? Lefty, righty? Which one are you going to do?
Well, I'm a righty, so.
All right, let me go. Let me take that from you.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I guess like a hook, right?
And by the way, Alycia got 999.
All right, well, it's one thing to punch hard. It's one thing to land a punch. If she's so strong, why didn't she knock out Matisse?
I just love causing trouble. She didn't even throw the bag. She didn't even hit the bag. I just want to cause trouble. All right, let's see what you got.
All right. What's the best way, to hook or to punch straight?
Hook.
Okay.
I'm scared. No, don't worry. No.
That was my
That's
biggest
okay.
fear.
It's okay.
Okay.
That's because of her heels.
That's because of the heel. She might slip.
Get closer to it.
Straight punch.
Can't punch it.
Oh, shit. Let me take the heels.
You know what? I've got a feeling that I could beat 590. I've got a feeling, and no pressure, Addy, but I think I can beat 590.
Addy, if you don't beat that,
I think I could, you know. We got to pay for this as well, by the way. We got to pay for this.
That's your whole check.
Huh? All right.
Just do it. Just get it over with. I think next time we do this, let's go over the technique. Because there's clearly a technique for this. I want to practice round.
See that? See that? World champion Mikaela Maya. Give her another shot. Give her another shot. Give her one more shot.
One more shot.
Okay, let's give her another shot.
Because you do got to stand a little closer.
Yeah, a little closer. See.
This is an expensive trip. This is.
Come on.
All right. We got it.
Round two.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, a little better.
Whew. Got a little bit nervous. Mikaela Maya, thank you very, very much. I caught up with a special guest yesterday.
All right, man. I call this guy the king of MMA. I mean, look, obviously you're involved.
King of combat sports. He said it.
No,
He said the biggest name. I didn't say the king.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And I see you got dunks. So you're trying to challenge me with the kick game. You know what I mean? But I like it. I like it. Harry Olawani. Listen, I mean, you've been here for the weigh-in. Have you ever seen anything like this for women's combat sports in general?
Oh, well, you know, I have to say, first of all, thank you for having me. Great to be here. Big fan of the show.
Our pleasure.
By the way, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I remember when I was on your show and you guys asked me at the end of the year, what's your most anticipated fight of 2022? What did I say?
Gotta give it to you, brother.
What did I say?
Gotta give it to you. You did say that.
And it wasn't even a done deal yet.
Right.
And I said it. I said Taylor Serrano in case you missed it. So it's great for me to be here. It's an honor. It's a privilege.
But wait a minute. Even though you said that, did you think it would be this big? Come on.
No, this is exceeding my expectations, and it's actually reminding me a lot. Let's be honest. The UFC embraced women's fighting a little sooner and quicker than boxing, right?
Yes.
And so this reminds me of the first ever UFC women's match back in 2013. It was Ronda Rousey versus Liz Carmouche, Anaheim, California, Honda Center. This reminds me of that. And of course, it's a bigger deal because it's New York, it's Madison Square Garden, it's all that stuff and more. But you know what's even better about all this? You know, because I bet there's some guy in Alabama right now or some guy in Florida or some guy in Australia who's like, I don't care about MSG. Doesn't mean anything to me. Well, guess what? 1 versus 2 pound for pound, that means something to everyone. And that never happens. You guys know better than anyone. According to ESPN, they said it, 2008 was the last time this happened in boxing. 1 versus 2, Marquez Pacquiao 2. In MMA, it never happens as well. So that's why it's so special to me. It's not just the nice story of 2 women headlining MSG. It's legit 1 versus 2. That to me is a big deal. And I know Clarissa's here. I hope she didn't hear me say that.
No, she didn't hear you.
Perfect. It's 1 versus 3, Clarissa. It's 1 versus 3.
Listen, I like the fact that you said the best are fighting the best. It doesn't even happen in MMA because the MMA fans beg to differ. You know, I constantly hear, oh, in the UFC, we fight the best. That's why boxing is struggling. I don't see boxing struggling, and I see a lot of big fights happen in the sport of boxing. Why does MMA fans see it that way?
Well, they've been sort of programmed to believe that boxing is struggling, programmed to believe that boxing is dead. And I feel like sometimes in the world of MMA, I'm sitting on an island and I'm trying to remind them time after time, legitimately, and you guys know working for Dazn, I'm not just saying it because I'm on the platform, it's every weekend there's a big event, right? Next weekend it's Canelo. Last weekend you had Fury and White, 94,000 people. There aren't MMA fights drawing 94,000 people, I could tell you that. Boxing, dare I say, is actually healthier right now than MMA. Why? Because the fighters have options. They have opportunities to make more money.
Applaud this man.
Yes, it's true. And this is coming from a guy who grew up a boxing fan. As I think I told you, I'm from Montreal. I grew up watching Arturo Gatti at the Bell Center. I knew what boxing was before I even knew what the UFC and MMA was. And so
it wasn't around, that's why.
Well, it wasn't around, but also I was a 10-year-old kid, you know, when the UFC came around and when MMA was a thing. So it wasn't like I was an old guy.
Yeah.
The point is, this idea that MMA is doing so much better than boxing, that boxing is dead, is such hogwash nonsense. It drives me nuts. It is literally every weekend there's a big fight. Like a weekend like this one, there's 2 big fights going on both coasts.
There's only one fight that hasn't happened yet, and that's Spence versus Crawford. Every other fight is basically happened.
I feel like it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I feel like it's going to happen this year.
And then what? We can't never say that about boxing again, but they'll still say that. The narrative will still be the same. But listen, in the UFC, women and men basically have the same rules. But here, over here in boxing, but boxing comes from a long time ago where men thought differently when they created it. So we got 2-minute rounds for women. What do you think about that? Serrano was like, hey, let's do 3 minutes.
They need to catch up to the times. In MMA, it's 5-minute rounds.
Right. For everybody.
For everybody. And it used to be 3-minute rounds for the women. And then they upped it to 5 very early on in the process. It needs to be, I kind of feel like it's the one sort of cloud hanging over this because selfishly, I want to see more of them. I think this fight is going to go the distance, and I think it's going to be amazing. But we're only going to get 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Rounds,
yes.
It goes
we're going to get 20 minutes. That's nothing. I mean, 2-minute rounds, by the time you blink, we're down to like 45 seconds. So I do think that they should make it 3-minute rounds.
Let's shift gears real quick. Next week, is that going to go the distance? Canelo, Bivol, Las Vegas? What's your take on that matchup? I feel like people are not giving Bivol the credit that he deserves.
He's being disrespected. A lot of people, including in the sport of MMA, you have Kamaru Usman, who's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in mixed martial arts, UFC welterweight champion.
Who's calling Canelo out of his mind?
He's calling Canelo out. We could talk about that. He's sort of tugging at his coattails, unlike what's happening with Fury and Ngannou, where Fury's kind of taking Ngannou in and saying, like, come here, let's do this together. Canelo's like, who are you? And I don't think it's a great look for Usman, if I'm being honest. But in doing that, and in Usman trying to get his attention, he's disrespecting Bivol, and I think a lot of people are disrespecting Bivol. This guy's tough. He's game. Now, ultimately, am I picking him to win? No. I think Canelo wins, and I think he wins via stoppage. But if anyone, just because he's not a household name, it doesn't mean that he's a bum. Canelo's doing a lot of things. He's breaking records. He's trying to make his own history. And you know what I love most about Canelo, can I just say? The man is active.
Right.
He doesn't just show up every year.
But you think that's unfair? The fact that Bivol isn't a household name, people are looking at this just as another opponent for Canelo, another strap. But he's fighting a legitimate world champion, but people base it on the notoriety.
Listen, it's not always going to be Canelo Triple G, and maybe we'll get that later on this year. This is the fun thing about the sport of boxing. By the way, I remember in this building in November, I believe, there was a guy named Teofimo Lopez who fought a guy named George Kambosos, who a lot of people didn't really know about, right? A lot of people thought that Teofimo was going to roll right through him. And what happened? Changed everything. They're about to fight in Australia in front of thousands upon thousands of people. I remember in that building right next door, there was a guy named Anthony Joshua who fought someone named Andy Ruiz, and what happened that night. So that's why we love this, because on any given Saturday night, someone can shock the world.
That's right. Absolutely.
You did the face-off, and moving back to what's going on tomorrow night, the fact that these women are so gentle, soft-spoken, so sweet outside the ring, it must be tough to create some friction between that face-off with you. Like, how was that
Were you even trying to do that? Were you trying to get a little rise out of them?
Sometimes people accuse me of being an instigator.
You were.
Listen, I'm just a guy who asks questions, all right? I just ask questions because I'm an inquisitive mind. But listen, it's nice when there's two guys who hate each other. And then sometimes you have a situation where I actually enjoy the challenge of, okay, they're respectful. They aren't trash talkers. To be honest, they probably didn't even want to do it, if we're being honest, right? Like, they don't like that sort of thing. So I enjoy the challenge of, trying to disarm them, break them down, and almost make them feel like there isn't a camera over there, there's no one watching, and it's just three friends, so to speak, talking about an upcoming fight. And I feel, dare I say, that as the thing went on, they were getting more and more comfortable, and by the end, they were even cracking jokes about each other. So it's a different dynamic. By the way, I think that's what we like about fighting. If every single fight was two guys, look at this card on Saturday. Vargas and Smith. Those guys don't seem to be on the same page. They don't like each other. If every fight had that intensity, it would be a lot, right?
A little repetitive.
So it's nice when you have that, and then you have Taylor and Serrano. You could tell they want to beat each other. You could tell there's a rivalry there. There's a competitive spirit there. But it doesn't always have to be crap talking every time. So I enjoyed it.
If there was no peaceful fighters, we would have nothing to compare it to.
Of course. And different strokes for different folks, right? You got the respectful ones, like Canelo's a respectful guy for the most part, and then you got the bad boys. And then, you know,
Before we get out of here, we got a prediction, Taylor Serrano, from you?
Well, I have to say, I looked at the lines, and I was shocked that Katie Taylor is the underdog. with all due respect to Amanda Serrano. And I think part of the reason why she's the underdog, if we're being honest, is maybe her last two performances didn't really wow the crowd. I think.
And Amanda is being very dominant in her
She's
fights.
being dominant, and I think the Jake Paul effect is real, and she's getting that platform here in America, and a lot of people are hyped about her. But I think that Katie is so good, she's been lacking motivation. She's been lacking that foil, right? She's been lacking that challenge. I think she sees the challenge here.
Natasha Jonas didn't challenge her? Come on.
Come on.
No, but that was a big enough name.
Oh, by the way, you could almost make a case that she lost one of these last couple fights. But I'm saying I don't know if she's up for those fights because she's been doing this for so long, right? Okay. Olympics 2012. I'm just saying she recognizes this moment, and I'm really curious to see how Amanda looks early on in this fight. Because let's be real, Katie has been on these big stages before. Two-time Olympian, Olympic gold medalist in 2012. She has fought at Madison Square Garden before. Amanda has never fought at Madison Square Garden, and her biggest fights were just recently on the Jake Paul cards. And I was at those fights, and the scene, it wasn't this. It just wasn't. Now, it's going to be raucous. It's going to be hyped. It's going to be crazy energetic. I just wonder if the nerves early on in those first couple rounds will get to her.
But does she seem like somebody that gets nervous?
Well,
seriously.
I don't know.
Does she?
We'll see.
Does she seem? I'm
the
asking,
official
does
prediction,
she
though,
seem
is
like it, though?
Katie via decision.
The British invasion is in full swing. My brother Tony Bellew is here, part of the commentary team, part of the team tonight. He's taken time to come and speak to us. Tony, talk to me about the main event. This is a big one, right?
Yeah, it's huge, Addy. It's one I'm looking forward to. I genuinely think that it's a proper 50-50. I can make a case for both fighters. In the build-up and when this fight was first announced, I was all thinking it was going to be Serrano.
You've been saying Serrano for a while.
Yes, and now the closer it's got, the more I'm looking at Katie, and I think size is going to be a factor.
Okay.
And I think that the bigger fighter will win. I think size, as I say, might be a big factor, but this is going to be very close. I think the scoring in this fight will be very, very hard to judge because it's the 2-minute rounds. There's so much action crammed into them 2 minutes. It's going to be hard to separate them. I'll be surprised if you get a very clear win in any round. So it's going to be what judges like, and it'll be fantastic to watch.
What do you think is going to make the difference? Most people think Katie's the better boxer. Some people think maybe Amanda's more aggressive, throws more punches. Yeah. Maybe hits harder, some people say.
I think Amanda Serrano has a more ferocious work rate.
Yeah.
She's busier. But Katie Taylor is technically better, in my opinion. Her footwork is better. A punch selection of the way she goes from body to head is better. But as I say, Serrano's hands are really good. She's busy, she's game. And if anything, I feel she's been in the deeper end a bit more.
Serrano?
Yeah, Serrano. I think just going through them weight divisions. And I also, I'm not going to lie, I definitely think from the Delphine Bassoon last fight that she had with her, I think Katie Taylor is slowly declining. I'm not saying she's done, I'm not saying she's past it, because she's not. She looks to be in the prime of her career, but I've just seen a slight decline since that Delphine Bassoon rematch.
Yeah, you're right. She didn't look good against Jennifer Han. Let's be brutally honest. Sharapova as well, not good. Whereas Amanda's looking destructive right now.
Yeah.
Looking really, really strong. I want to talk about co-main, someone you know very well. Liam Smith takes on Jessie Vargas. It was supposed to main event a couple of months ago. It's in the co-main slot now. Who wins?
It's a really difficult fight. I think Jessie Vargas comes out and sets the trend, and I think he starts boxing early doors. First 4 or 5 rounds, and then I think Liam then starts to get to him after 4 or 5 rounds, starts drawing him into a fight. And there's one thing about Jessie Vargas, for as good a boxer as he is and as mobile as he is, he does get dragged into fights quite easily. And if he does get involved with Liam Smith in a fight, he's going to come off second best. Yeah. The only way he beats Liam is to keep him at long range and outbox him. The minute he starts having a tear up with Liam, he could actually find himself on the floor, Jessie Vargas. Liam hits harder than people can think. He's a well-established 154 fighter. You'd also have to give Liam Smith credit. Liam is, in the last few years, the only guy who went to Canelo and put it on him and tried to have a go, nail Canelo with hard shots. Yes, he got stopped. Yes, it was a really good fight, but he's the only guy who I've seen really go and take it to Canelo and put it on him in a long time. So don't write Liam Smith off in this. I know people like Jessie Vargas and the boxing ability, and he talks the best game going. This guy's a politician. Of course he's going to talk the best game. So, you know, it's a good fight to watch, and I'm looking forward to it.
Did you notice the size difference there? Obviously, Jessie has come up from 147. He's come up from 140 and even lower than that.
Yeah.
Did you notice a bit of a size difference? Liam is a big 154-pounder.
Liam's a strong 154. Liam's not the biggest 154, make no mistake. We seen when he went against Anthony Fowler last time out that he's not huge at 154. But at the same time, he's strong and he's durable at 154. He's a career-like middleweight, and we'll see the best of Liam Smith tonight. I'm going for a Liam Smith points victory.
We're obviously very excited about Bellew as well, Olympic gold medalist. I mean, he fought on the Okoli undercard in front of 7,000. He fights in front of 18 to 20,000. Yeah. He can't go back to York Hall, Bethnal Green. I mean, Eddie's kind of really set out the stone for him. He's got to have big fights after big fight. Big opportunity to impress the American audience.
Definitely, you know, this guy's an Olympic gold medalist. This boy can do it all. He really can, Andy. So I'm just excited to watch him. I want to see his progression. I love the speed he's looking to progress at. And it's only a matter of time. I genuinely think Galal Yafai will be the first one from our country to completely unify a whole division. Take all 4 belts. I believe he'll be the first Olympian.
Flyweight division. Sharks everywhere.
Trust me, right now, there's a long way to go till he gets to the level of capturing all them belts. And a lot of them sharks, remember, in this division, these guys age quite quickly. You know, these guys are done by the time of 28, 29. So for Galal, he's got to make quick strides, but I think they'll just be slightly passing over the edge when he's ready to take them on.
Right, earlier in the week, I caught up with the man they call Galal Yafai, Olympic gold medalist. Big fight for him this evening. Galal Yafai, Lawrence Okoli, you can't go back to York Hall, Bethnal Green again. That's it, that's done.
I could do. Nah, you know what it is? I gotta keep it humble, and I gotta, you know, it's great to be fighting here. I fought on a big stage, but the main thing for me is I gotta win, and I gotta look good doing it, and I can enjoy the occasion after maybe.
Is it about that, looking good as well? Because most people say it's just a win. Got to win, got to move on, got to get the win, and then we move on again. But you're already in your head thinking, got to win, got to look good.
Oh, 1,000,000%. I can't just win and look terrible. That's the way it is nowadays. You got to win and you got to look good. You know, get people talking. The win is the most important thing now, and then looking good comes second.
Is it weird? You've only had 2. Well, this will be your second professional fight, but you're already the hunted. Do you know what I mean? Everyone wants your scalp because you're the Olympic gold medalist. Everyone, you know, there's a lot of hype around you, understandably so. Is it weird to be so fresh in the games, you know, as a pro and already to be the hunted?
No, not really. I just try and keep an eye on my own career and look at myself. I try not to watch other people, you know, the world champions. I don't want to start disrespecting people and saying I want to be world champion and I want to beat him and fight him. It's going to happen. Well, it should happen if I'm good enough. If I'm not good enough, then it won't happen. I've just got to keep winning, like I said, looking good, working hard, and hopefully fighting in more of these arenas.
What's it like, Madison Square Garden Saturday? Have you thought about it? Because by the time you come out, there will be a lot of people there. It's not like, you know, you're at the bottom of the card as they're doing a test. They're doing a test, it's okay. It's not like you're at the bottom of the card, there's only going to be a couple of thousand. You're quite up there, so there'll be 10, 15,000 when you come in. Is that strange?
Obviously, it's something different. Obviously, when you're amateur, you're not fighting in front of so many people. I fought on the big platforms before, you know, Olympics, Olympic finals. So I've had the experience. It's just doing it in front of loads of people now, which I just think tunnel vision when I'm fighting. I'm thinking just me and the opponent. Doesn't matter who's around. Hopefully, it's just a good night for myself. And I could just think about eating and going home.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Look, Miguel Carter Jr. on Saturday, experience, has been fighting since 2011, so comes with that experience. What's it going to be like facing someone like that? Because, let's be honest, the fly and superfly division, everyone's experienced.
Yeah, he's experienced. He's been around. Like I said earlier, he's fought a few world champions. So he's not like he's been in... I'm not going to be the best person he's probably been in with. Well, we'll see it in the future, won't we? But he's been in with a few world champions, so he knows how to handle it. But we'll see Saturday night what he's all about.
Not looking past him, and I know you won't anyway, but my job is to kind of look into the future. Is there a dream opponent for you? Because, again, flyweight division, full of sharks, big names, superfly, full of sharks, big names. Is there almost like a dream opponent that if you do progress in the next 12 to 18 months, I want that guy?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not really one to call people out and things like that, but ultimately probably the best opponent would be someone from Britain, a world champion, and there's only one person. It's obviously Sonny Edwards, which we're cool with each other. We sparred, you know, we sparred a lot of rounds, but I wouldn't mind having his belt in a few years. But he's a good fighter. But I think naturally you're going to look at someone in your country, it builds up a little, you know, British dust up, world champion. I think that's a no-brainer, really, Sonny Edwards.
How weird is it? You're saying Sonny, your brother, who's just over there, was supposed to fight Charlie, or at least those talks about your brother versus Charlie. Maybe get him out of retirement. What's he doing? Why is he not fighting?
Nah, he's still fighting. He's just sorting a day out. But it wouldn't be bad, would it? A brother double. But Now, I know I'm not going to disrespect them and say that they're this and that, but they're great fighters. They're good fighters, obviously. Charlie's a former world champion. Sonny's a world champion now at the minute. So it's a good little family dust-up, and hopefully in the future maybe we can get that sorted.
Yeah, they're great fighters. So you good luck on Saturday. Should be an absolutely fantastic one. Enjoy this as well, because this is special. Katie Taylor, Serrano, and you're featured on the undercard. Well done, Galel. Good stuff.
Ladies of boxing, Cecilia Bracos, thank you for joining us. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm a little bit late, and my flight just got a little bit, so I didn't get to see the whole weigh-in, unfortunately, but I just heard it's amazing atmosphere here, and I couldn't be more happier for everything that is going on.
I am so excited because though you came in late, you're always on time because you are you. Let's start with that. Because, you know, as a matter of fact, tomorrow we're going to see history in the making.
Yes.
First time ladies headlining at Madison Square Garden. But you've been in the game for so long.
Yes.
And you've seen the struggles, these young ladies, your own struggles. So what does this mean to you?
I mean, I'm just so very happy. I'm excited. I am so filled of joy because of all the positive
position.
Yes.
For women's boxing in general.
Exactly.
And just to put this in perspective, most people don't know that there's still countries where ban women's boxing. Among them would be Sweden, up until not too long ago, Mexico. Colombia's still in the making. So you think this would actually help change that?
I think women...
Clarissa Shields in the house.
There's always a lot of a big show then.
Yes, of course. She brings on the game big time.
Well, I mean, that's what I love with the women boxing right now. It is such a big and positive community coming together now. And I think definitely tomorrow's fight is going to take everything to the next level.
So when we go to the X's and O's, what is the next big punch for women's boxing? What's the next stage?
Equal pay.
You said it, but we're there.
I want to say that right now we should just enjoy tomorrow and this incredible atmosphere and everything around it. And then we can start working on the next step.
Amen to that, I agree. So now about you, what's next for you?
I will be fighting for a world championship in August 13th. I will jump up one weight division because, you know, I'm getting a little
no, you're getting perfect.
Chunky. No, I don't. But you know, with time, you know, things happen in your body, and I cannot make my welterweight division anymore. Cannot do it.
That's okay. We'll be happy to see you back in the ring at any division. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
And obviously, it's a pleasure to be with royalty in boxing. Thank you, Cecilia.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, as we get closer to this, I'm getting a little bit more nervous. Look, I mean, look, Tony doesn't come to America for anything. It's a huge one. That's why he is here. Tony, I mean, you talk X's and O's with Addy at the bag about styles, but I want to talk more about this event. First off, this is the Mecca of boxing. You know the historic fights that have taken place here, but this is history. First time females have a headline this card for Undisputed. I mean, how big is this event now that you're here?
This is huge. It's massive. It really is, and I'm amazed that it's actually done the numbers it's done in the big arena. I mean, I'm not amazed. I should have said, because this fight just sells itself. I mean, this is the most spoken about female event in my generation. I mean, we've obviously got Layla Ali and Jackie Frazier, but them names were already previously made. Yeah. These girls have made their own names in the game. These girls are flown in, and it's just gone beyond measure. So it's huge, it's massive. There's a huge Irish contingent here, there's a huge Puerto Rican contingent here, and I can't wait till these girls lock horns tonight.
Well, I could safely say that I'm amazed. You know why? Because it kind of like transcended the sport a little bit. You got Fat Joe talking on Instagram about this fight, you know what I mean? So it's a little, we already knew it was important to us, but we're inside the bubble. Outside the bubble is interested in this fight now.
You know what's really good now? What this has brought us, when you see all the other females that we had on the chairs and just walking around, so many good female fighters. So many super fights now that can be made. Obviously, Clarissa, Savannah. You know, Alycia, we know that she wants a bit of Mikaela. So there's so many big fights that can be made.
You know, why is it that I can't get a straight prediction from anybody? Tony, I know you've gone back and forth. I mean, you've slighted Amanda, but leading
No,
up to the
one
fight.
second. He said Katie now.
Oh, no, that's what I mean.
But he's one of the first British people to say Amanda.
He's changed.
Yeah,
I'm so happy about that.
I did, and I'm not going to lie. I've thought for a while that Katie's on the slide. Right. I've just thought her performances have declined slightly ever since the Pursoon rematch. I thought she's not bang at it. She's not at it like she was, and
it could also be the competition too. Pursoon is just a monster.
To be fair, but I did think that at first, but then I looked at the fight with Tasha Jonas, and I thought to myself, now that's one she will have really been up for, and Tasha pushed her all the way. Tasha, it was a really, really hard night for her. And then the Sharapova fight comes along, and I think this has been set up here for her to look good. And let's be honest, guys, no point in lying, she didn't look good. And Serrano's gone from strength to strength. She's strong. The only reason now, and I've been Serrano all the way through, and the only reason, the deeper I look into this fight, one's a career lightweight. The other one flitters and flutters among different weight classes, and it's quite clear to see there is a size difference here.
You know, at that weigh-in, Katie Taylor had sneakers on, and Amanda was barefoot. So
but you can even see it in the shoulders and the body frame.
Still,
I think
she was looking shorter. She was looking shorter, you know.
Tell me if I'm wrong, Tony. The one thing I noticed that I think can be a difference in this fight is Amanda's body punching. If you watch Amanda's last 4 fights, she goes as much to the body as she does to the head, and maybe that will slow Katie's footwork down and the hand speed.
Potentially. I mean, Katie by far has the better footwork. I mean, everyone knows that. Technically, I think Katie's better with the variety of punches she throws.
Is it better footwork or faster?
Better.
You think it's better? Because I think Amanda Serrano is very, very talented. Her footwork is her angles are very, very good.
Cuts the ring off well, too.
Yeah.
No, this isn't a slight on Amanda Serrano's footwork. I think you're right. Amanda, fantastic. But I just think Katie, and maybe it is from that amateur pedigree, all the accolades. And look, Amanda's got some accolades as well. But I think that's where the footwork comes in. And that's why I think
I know her feet are very fast.
Another thing that everyone seems to have missed in this fight is, you look at the early career for Amanda Serrano, she fights, within the first 16 fights, she's got a loss. And then she's got a draw, and she fought the same girl 4 times. So in the first 16 fights, you've got the same opponent 4 times over. That
was her amateur career, you know?
I suppose so.
She was learning.
I was intrigued of why she didn't have a rematch with the girl that defeated her.
Oh, well, I think she got injured and never fought again. Because I thought that too. Now, this kind of Amanda Serrano will destroy her.
Either way, she's gone to another whole different level. But I'm trying to now find faults because I can't find them from her most recent performances. I'm not going to lie. So you have to dig deep and have a look at, why didn't she face here? Why did she face the same girl 4 times? And then she gets a knockout victory on it. Then it's a unanimous decision over. So I've gone as deep as I can possibly go and try and figure out what she's going to do. But listen,
So are you going Katie?
After all that,
where are you going?
I'm going Katie Taylor on
All
points.
right, all right.
I'm going Katie as well.
All the questions will be answered today.
He just had to say a prayer just now.
Listen, way before that main event, and we're going to get those questions answered. We got before the bell, before the main event, stacked card. We got.
Man.
I mean, I like Ammo Williams. I think his potential is great because of his power. Barack. He's going to be on the card.
Someone's always got to go. Remember, Cordell Booker's unbeaten as well.
And
11-0 versus 17. And
yes, I've seen Cordell Booker in the gym. I've seen Ammo in person, and I've seen him with amazing power, and I think that's what's going to be the difference. I think Booker's very durable. I think he's a good fighter, but it's going to be real tough for him.
All right, well, listen, the main card, this is where the people are here. This is where the Irish came. I mean, you got Liam Smith, obviously, with Jessie Vargas. We talked about that. I like Franchón Cruz. I like the fact that there are 2 undisputed showdowns going down. And
history,
women,
history
4 women. I mean, the history just keeps piling and piling on in the historic building. I mean, I like that fight. I think Franchón becomes undisputed. I mean, would you agree, Addy?
I think she comes undisputed. And then I think, look, her and Clarissa are good friends right now. But I think she calls out Clarissa. I know they're good friends, but you got to make a lot of money. There's, history on the line. I think she calls out the winner of Clarissa versus Savannah.
It's business. What about that?
Does Liam beat Jessie Vargas?
Yes, in a really hard fight.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
That's a hard fight because Jessie is quite clearly the slicker boxer of the 2.
Right.
But as we know, he likes to have a fight. And everywhere Liam Smith goes, Liam Smith could have a fight in an empty phone box with himself.
That's what they used to say about you.
Well, you know.
That's what they used to say about you.
Might help that we're both from the same gym.
As you see the lovely city there of New York City, we're in the Mecca of boxing, man. Appreciate for you tuning in both days. That's it. The fight is about to happen in a couple of hours. I'm Ak. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Peace and love.
This is for the moments when you were given nothing, but fought for everything. Taking the hard knocks and proving yourself again and again. Because when the sport didn't change for you,